What's going on, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood FUD fighter, Michael T. Ragland, back in the building. Surprise, surprise. I am not dead. I had somebody in the comments literally pop up, I think it was yesterday. It was like, it's been 7 months. Are you dead? What's going on? And I'm just like, well, I'm not sure sometimes. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not dead. I'm alive and well. I want to talk about what I've actually been up to. If you guys have been watching this channel for a while, you probably took a 7-month break because it wasn't nothing coming out, but we're back, baby. You've probably seen that. I talked a lot about starting working full time in Web3 and really chasing my passion and doing those things. Well, as of March, I have a full-time job remotely where I'm able to be here with my family and work on videos and work on ideas and create cool stuff as a content manager for another Web3 company. I also spent time with my friends working on a book, and we developed a course and all those things as well. But who cares about any of that stuff right now? I want to talk about why I'm back. I'm back because right now is a time of super duper FUD, right? And I think everyone needs their friendly neighborhood FUD fighter right now because the bags ain't looking so good. The bags are heavy, the volume is down, like projects aren't doing what they used to be doing. If I look at my little thing right here, like Bitcoin's like under $30,000 right now. Where's ETH? Like ETH is trading under 2 grand, so everybody is freaking out, and you only have the real ones in the space right now. So we're gonna get into it, and I'm actually gonna talk about Goblin Town for a little bit, just because I want to, and it's an interesting project, and I have some thoughts about it. But I want to first jump in and talk about the overall state of the market. Keep in mind, on this show, I'm gonna be back. It's gonna be normal. I'm gonna be recording when I feel like it, which could be all the time, which could be not a lot, but I got a feeling it's gonna be a lot because I have more flexibility now, and you guys need your friendly neighborhood FUD fighter. So with the overall market itself, what people don't ever think about is economics. So economics. What people don't think about is economics, like macroeconomics to be exact. When you look at the total market, right? Like everything's down. Stocks are down. The real estate market is crazy. Interest rates are going up. I'm really a huge fan of history and economics. So I'm sitting here in Australia now and I see everybody freaking out about like the housing market and interest rates and those things and variable rate loans and all that crap. Like I've done this before. I was in America, in 2005 to 2008, watching all this stuff happen. Now I'm seeing it again in Australia and in other places in the world. Well, long story short, the way that it works is if you print out a ton of money, or quantitative easing, as the government likes to call it, eventually that's gonna dry up and you're gonna have to figure out a way to kind of curb inflation. So if you look at it, if I'm not mistaken, the last report I've seen in the States, inflation was over 7, Australia's around 5. So they're like, wait, what do we do now? So in a very simple term, like, because I don't want to bore the hell out of you talking about economics, but if you want people to spend money to quote unquote stimulate an economy, you lower interest rates, you print out more money, and naturally people are going to start spending more money because they're not getting a lot on their money that they're saving. And it's a lot cheaper to get loans and for houses or whatever the hell you want to do with it. So happy days. The economy starts flowing again. There's money everywhere. And guess what that also triggers? That triggers bull runs in speculative assets. Like, let me think. Cryptocurrency. Right? So people have all that stimulus money from the government. We're talking about 2020 here. And they're like, cool, YOLO, I'm going to spend this money. It's free money. I'm going to buy some Bitcoin. I'm going to buy some ETH. I'm going to go in and just go crazy, right? And as that money's flowing and as Jerome Powell and the rest of the homies at the Fed, is Jerome Powell still like the Fed chairman? I don't even know. I don't pay attention to it, but he was during this time. But as those guys go and they print out more and more money, people are going to be spending more and more money. And the only way to reverse that is to say, wait a minute, let's do the inverse. Let's raise interest rates up, make it harder to get loans for properties and everything else, and make it more attractive to save money. So what happens when that comes around? Well, things like your speculative assets like crypto and penny stocks and all the fun stuff that we love to talk about and play with here, that starts to dry up as well. And then when you get into NFTs, when you look at a bull run with them, there's also things where people getting smarter as they go along and they get tired of getting ripped off by influencers and other people in the market that are like, buy the next hot Bored Ape Baby Yacht Dog Club. It's gonna go crazy. It's to the moon. And it's just all paid influencers pumping and dumping stuff with no real operators behind it. So we find ourselves where we are right now in a bear market. Like, pay attention to history. There's nothing to panic about, nothing to FUD. Like, I 100% agree it's a bear market for all the things that I mentioned above. but you're gonna be okay if you understand these things. Like, ask me whatever questions you want in the comments about this stuff. Like, I'm such a nerd when it comes to understanding economies at scale and how that affects all of our fun little speculative assets and things like we like to talk about. So I'm happy to have chats at any time and do other videos like that are more nailed down. I just want to spend time with you guys with not a lot of friction today to kind of talk about the overall market, to let you know not to be afraid, not to follow the FUD. Don't worry about your bags. They're going to be okay. We won't even get into Bitcoin halving right now, which is coming around in 2024. So who knows? We may be in for a 2-year bear. Who cares? Accumulate if you believe in it, right? Invest in projects with real creators and founders. Like, now is a beautiful time to build in the crypto and NFT space. And the thing I like about it is that it's going to weed out all the pretenders, all the people who are here just because they're like, oh, Bitcoin's at 60,000. I'm going to buy it and buy the top. And it's a scam, according to them. But they just do their research and understand how all this stuff works. When we jump over and we look at something like a Goblin Town, like, it's just hilarious to me because I won't lie, like, I spend a lot of time flipping NFTs and jumping in and out of projects with no regard for any human life or money or ETH. It's ETH even real money? I don't even know. It's like Monopoly money to most of us. But I jumped in and out of projects like nothing, and it led to something like this. Goblin Town, right? So, I mean, just look at the activity on this thing. What we're looking at right now. So if we go in now, we're checking that activity for 90 days, but I just want to see from 7 days, like literally 0.09 all the way up to 1.6 ETH. Keep in mind, this is a free mint. And here's everything you need to know about them. Great roadmap, great strategy. Like, it's a fun project that's really a sign of the times right now. What people are like, you know what? I don't care about roadmaps because it's BS, because the people who are doing them are just kind of copying and pasting it from other projects, and they probably have a bunch of other projects that they kind of grabbing cash and running with as well, with the promise of a game, and we're gonna have merch, and we're gonna do blah blah blah. Like, who cares? It's all BS, right? So I think for me, when it comes to NFTs anyway, I learned my lesson the hard way. Like most of you probably watching, I'm only gonna mess with stuff that has actual operators, right? Like Atom Bomb Squad by Bobby Hundreds, who I've been following since the early 2000s. I looked at Dead Fellas, who has a crazy great community and somebody who is trying to execute in Betty and Psych. I looked at Subducks, who has a great artist and leader who's been in the space forever. Those are people who know how to build, and they're working on cartoons and all kind of stuff. But those are people who actually know how to build and create. I don't even want to say community, but you gotta say it, and create community around their projects. That's the type of projects that are worth investing in for me. Like, I have all these crazy trackers and subscriptions and all this stuff where I'm like, oh, this project's mentioning out right now. Quick, let's jump in and kind of chase it. But it's just a saying that always goes, if you're doing what everybody else is doing, you're probably doing the wrong thing. So I just want to step back a little bit and encourage you guys not to chase those trends. Don't chase what's pumping. Find stuff that aligns with you and your beliefs and your values. Invest in those cryptocurrency projects. Invest in those NFTs, and don't worry about the floor price. If something comes up and it's an opportunity to jump in, but don't think of it as an investment. Think of it as a nice and fun gamble with any of that disposable income that we all have just flowing out of our ears right now in a market like this. So don't worry about the FUD. Think long term. Think in terms of years, not days, not months, not weeks, and we're all gonna be okay. And I'm back to fight the FUD. This is your friendly neighborhood FUD fighter, Michael T. Ragland, back in the building. Let's freaking go. Peace.